there, welcome to my channel. My name is Linda. Today we are working on 4 Dollar Tree DIYs just in time for the upcoming 4th of July holiday. If this is your first time here, I post all sorts of DIY and craft related videos, so you might want to go ahead and hit that red subscribe button and notification bell for future updates from my channel. Before we get started today, I'm happy to announce that I'm partnering in a collaboration with ThreadTank.com. ThreadTank.com offers all sorts of premium, super comfy graphic t-shirts, as well as like sweatshirts and tank tops, slouchy fit shirts, any kind of shirt you can imagine, they have it. They have great graphics on them to fit any mood that you're in, any personality that you have, whether you're a book reader or maybe you have to have a little bit of caffeine, as my t-shirt says, to get your day started. You have a family member that's a fisherman, or you want to announce that you are a proud mom. I mean, they are funny, they are great. The t-shirts are super soft. They are a true to size fit, but since I couldn't try them on, usually I will, if I'm ordering something online, I will go and order a size up, even though it might say true to size or something like that, because I figure, you know, if it's got a little bit of room for shrinkage, I'd rather have it fit a little bit bigger, you know, and wear it a little bit more loose on me. Now this t-shirt is a medium that I'm wearing here. I could have totally fit into a small. You can see how much room I have. The smalls for these t-shirts, most of them say they're like, you know, around 36, 37 inches across this chest area. I'm a 36 through here, have plenty of room. So if you want it a little bit loose, definitely go a little bit size bigger, or if you want it to fit just right, you know, feel confident that they are true to size. They are really, really, really soft. I love what this one says. It says, first I drink the coffee, then I do the things. Super hilarious. I'm going to put up a couple of pictures, actually 3, with the t-shirt I'm wearing and 2 other ones that I got to show you what they look like on. I'm going to put that up right now for you to see. Each t-shirt is printed to order. They have lots of designs. They make great gifts either for yourself or for a friend or for family. I love like the ones that I ordered because obviously this one that talks about the caffeine, I've got to have my caffeine every morning. I love the one that says Crafter's Gonna Craft because every time I post on Instagram, that's always one of my hashtags. And then the one that says, nope, not today. I say that like all the time. So truly these are fun. They are lightweight. They are super comfortable. I'll have a promo code down in the description box for you for 10% off your first order. So I hope you check that out after you watch this video. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. This is project number 1. So for today's project, I found these 3 home decor pieces at Dollar Tree, and I got them because of their thick wood. Now, if your Dollar Tree has the crafter square section and they have these really thick unfinished wood pieces like this star, they have square shapes. So get those if you can find them, and then you can skip all, well, the upcoming steps on these pieces here. And then I also bought a package of these stars at Walmart. So what I'm going to do is twist off the little, you know, shaped pieces here, leaving the dowels in because then I don't have to use wood filler to fill the holes, but I am going to kind of clip off the excess dowel pieces with these wire cutters. And then I'm going to take some sandpaper and sand them all nice and smooth. Now again, if you can find those unfinished craft pieces, then you can skip this part. So you need 3 stars and 3 of these pieces. I'm going to be using Apple Barrel Barn Red. I'm using a cream color, so any cream color or a white. And then I made this blue shade in Apple Barrel Admiral Blue, Apple Barrel Black, and then Delta Tide Pool, mixing those 3 colors together. These paint colors we will be using on all but the last project today. So we're sticking with these colors. So each block you're going to paint 1 red, the color of your choice, 1 white or cream, of course, your choice, and then 1 in whatever blue shade you want, as well as 3 stars. And I believe I do 2 coats on everything. I don't paint the back of the star because we'll be gluing that down, but this is what you end up with when you're ready. and everything is painted. And so now I'm going to take some 80 grit sandpaper on my sanding block, and I'm going to distress everything. I want it to look all nice and rustic and worn. I think that's just my style. You can totally skip this step if you want to. The papers I'm using today, red and white or cream, and a blue cardstock. These are just from my supply, but you can look at the opened papers at like Hobby Lobby or Joann's and pick any red, white, and blue that you want. I'm just cutting one piece for each block that's going to cover up the print on the side that we didn't paint. Now I'm adding some distressing to all my papers, taking the open end of my scissor blades and scraping them along the edge of the paper. Adds a nice kind of shabby distress look. I found this sticker in my supply and I glued it to a piece of really thin like cereal board cardboard. And then I'm taking all these pieces to my sewing machine. Of course, you can skip this step as well. I just love to do this to add texture to everything. I'm going to be using my Beacon Fabri-Tac glue today, and then we're going to glue all these pieces down onto the printed side of these blocks. Of course, if you found those unfinished square sections, glue it on whatever side you didn't paint. And I chose this music paper because it kind of reminded me of like Star Spangled Banner. For USA, of course, because I have people that are, not here in the US watching these videos, so that's why I chose that, and of course the color. I'm taking some of this really thin twine I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm wrapping it 3 or 4 times around one side of a star. I'll do this on 2 stars, and then I will glue the whole thing down. And so what I did with this twine is I glued them on opposite sides of each star. So the twine here is like on the left side of this red star. And then the next twine, as I glue it around the blue star, I'm going to glue it on the right side. Wrap it again 3 or 4 times around, and then glue this down onto the blue block. Super cute, super cute. And then for this last star, I'm going to glue the sticker on. I'm using these brads. They have these like great big ones, I think, at Dollar Tree. I have these little tiny ones I got in the scrapbook section. And I'm using my We Are Memory Keepers hole punch here, adding my tiny little star for my supply, or adding my tiny little brad for my supply. And I'm going to glue this onto my star. And that makes this project complete. So cute. Now on to project number 2. So for this project, I have these 3 wood tags left over from Christmas. Same papers I'm going to be using, and I've already sewed around the perimeter. I've cut the papers to fit the exact size of the tags. And then what we're going to do is, using the same paint from the last project, we're going to paint 1 tag in each of the colors. I'm painting the back of the tag, and then the sides, and a little bit around the front that has the decor on it. The front is actually going to be our back. And then we're going to be focusing our design on the painted side, but I'm covering a little bit of that front in case some of it shows with the paper here. So I've sewed around it, and I'm doing the same thing, distressing around this paper with the open end of my scissor blades and scraping it along the sides to give it that distressed look. I'll be using my Beacon Fabri-Tac glue again, and I'm going to be gluing these down onto the side that has the design. I am covering this up because I'm going to be selling these, so I want it to look all nice and finished. On the painted side, I'm going to go ahead and distress with sandpaper. I started with my sanding block, but it just wasn't doing it for me, so I took it outside and used my electric sander, so it's going to look really more distressed here in just a minute. There we go. Now I'm going to tape off the red one using some washi tape here because I want it to be red and white stripes. So I'm going to do 2 coats of paint in the section that's not taped. This washi tape, I didn't realize how old it was, so when I went to tear it off after doing 2 coats of paint, it didn't want to come off. I had to keep using my heat tool and scrape it off. You'll see here in a minute the residue it leaves behind. It was just horrible. So use fresh washi tape, and I chose this washi tape because it's thinner striped versus you know, a blue painter's tape. Took it outside using my electric sander, and this is what I end up with. So I made some stencils using my Cricut machine. If you don't have an electronic cutting machine, I'm painting or going to be stenciling the numbers 1776, so you can totally just paint those on. And then I'm painting a little circle of 13 stars for the original 13 colonies. If you don't have the stars, you can use this single wood star. That would look just as cute. Now I am trying something here. For my stencil, I have stencil paper, but for this, I decided I wanted to try and use my Arteza transfer paper for the stencil because it is really tacky, has a great tack to it. I thought it might have less bleed through. So I'm just positioning my pieces on here, finding out where I want to put them on here. Again, you can hand draw the 1776 or use stickers or rub-ons, and then for the stars you can use one of those single wood stars like we used in the last project. Now I am pre-painting the same color of paint on the stencils ahead of time with the same color as on the wood first for less bleed through. So on the blue I started out with blue paint, and now I'm stenciling in the cream color paint over the top of that blue paint once it's dried. And I did the same thing on the other one. I started out with the red or the white color paint, excuse me, and then I am coming in, and once that's dry, and stenciling over it with the black. When I pulled this transfer tape off, I am so amazed how crystal clear and crisp these stencils turned out. I want you to see this. So I will no longer use my other stencil paper. I have already ordered another tube of the Arteza transfer tape. Look at that. This will now be my stenciling paper from now on. I've never had it so crisp, and I think it is because of the tack and the quality of this Arteza transfer tape. Look at this one. Look how crisp that is. I cannot believe it. It's a medium tack, and it's kind of like almost a vinyl quality, this transfer tape. So I will have the link down below for you because this is just great transfer tape. Love it. So since this is all on there nice and crisp, I want to rustic it up a little bit. So I am going to go ahead and sand it, make it look a little more distressed. Can't have it too perfect. And then I'm going to glue these three together. And kind of lining them up here, I'm going to glue two of them on the back just like this. I'm going to take my pencil here and kind of mark where I need to put my glue using Beacon Fabri-Tac glue again. And then I'm going to lay these right on into position, let it set up just for a couple of minutes. I want these to be like hanging tags. I'm going to add some twine from Dollar Tree. I'm going to make a little loop at the top here. And then I'm going to also make a bow as well. Once I got the bow on, I thought it needed just a little something more, so I decided to add some sisal under the bow. So I'm pulling some of this out, take the bow back off, add a little sisal underneath, glue it down, put the bow back on, and our project is complete. Now on to project number 3. So for this project, I'm bringing in this rectangular home decor piece, again a couple more of these thickwood pieces and the thickwood star. I'm going to give you some options here if you can't find all of these. Anything rectangular like this rectangle piece from Dollar Tree. If you can't find these thickwood pieces, you can find these cute little small pieces or these pieces with the canvas on the top. If you don't have the thick star, you can take like 3 or 4 of these thinner stars from Walmart that we used in our earlier projects, glue them together. So those are some options. Again, I cut the dowels off of these home decor pieces and then sanded them down. And now I'm going to remove the staples because I want to remove the canvas off of this. I don't know why I start peeling off the tag, because you don't see any of that, but I'm so used to, like, when you go to use these pieces, peel off the price tags. I'm going to cover all my pieces in paper today. So any of the pieces you use, I'm covering everything in paper. The front, the back, and the sides. Everything is pre-cut. I've sewn around the edges. I've distressed around the edges, just like we did on the other project. So see, I'm going to be covering all around this. Everything's ready. Same thing with these. I've cut 4 pieces for the sides and 2 pieces for the front and the back. Everything again is all done, sewn, and distressed. Wanted to spare you that. We've been watching it on the last 2 projects. Again, I'm bringing out my paint because I do want to at least go around the perimeter of everything, so once we glue the paper on, if any of the edges show, it's at least got some paint color on it. And you don't have to be real neat, just kind of cover those corners and edges right up. One coat will do it, front and back and all the sides. I decided to cover everything with paper just so I don't have to do as much painting this time, and to make it look a little bit different than the last 2 projects. So remember, everything red, white, and blue. 1 red, 1 white, 1 blue, and then I'm going to do the star in a cream color. Or white if you want white on this. When I go to paint the star, I realize, shoot, I forgot to fill the hole. So in just a minute I'm going to stop. Nope, there it is. I'm going to stop and use some wood filler here, fill the hole, and once it's dry, I'm going to sand it down nice and smooth and go back in and complete painting it again. Again, if you don't have these thick stars, those package of stars from Walmart, glue 3 of them together, or 4 of them, however thick you want it, and then paint them around the perimeter, front and the back. We'll do the same thing. I just thought the thickness of the star was really cute. So now I'm just kind of adding some texture to my star. I've painted it all nice and smooth, but I'm using a pounce brush and paint and just pouncing it up and down so it adds little bubbles and texture. You can see here, and then once it dries, it'll dry that way with some texture, and using my heat tool. So here I am. I've covered and painted around the perimeter of all the pieces here, and now I'm just kind of distressing around the corners. You won't see much, but you'll see a little bit, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my pieces of paper. So again, just paint around the perimeter of all your pieces, and then add your paper around all sides, front, back, everything of all your pieces as well, just like I'm doing here. Just kind of want to show you the process of one so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. And now it's all ready. Perfect. Got 2, the bigger one, and then the star. This is a number 4. It's like, I got it at a garage sale. It was a little container of all these plastic house numbers. So, and I'm going to paint it in a cream color, a couple of coats. If you don't have this, of course, Dollar Tree has wooden numbers that you can buy, or you can get wood numbers or whatever, I believe, at Walmart, or you can paint on a number, or if you have a Cricut or a silhouette, you can cut one out, you can stencil one on, doesn't matter, but I'm just using a number 4, and then I'm going in on the wood star and I'm distressing around the edges of the thick wood star. Or if you glued a couple of those other stars together to make a thick one, then you can go around and distress if you want. This is up to you. I just want, again, this project to be distressed like the rest of them. All nice and pretty. There we go. Just a little bit distressed. I just like everything rustic. It's just my style. Everything ready here. Putting it in the order it's going to go. Again, I'm going to stencil on this one piece. It's going to say 4th, and then on this big piece it's going to say of July. And of course I can't really pre-paint, right? Because we are stenciling on paper. I'm going to be using the cream color for both of the stencils. So this is going to be a test to see how well this Arteza transfer tape does as a stencil on paper without pre-painting it the same color as the piece, right? Remember on the other project we pre-painted it the same color, let it dry, and then we went over it in the color that we actually wanted the stencil to allow for less bleeding. But we can't do that on these because we're stenciling on the paper. So we're going to see how this looks with the Arteza transfer tape as our stencil, for those of you that have a cutting machine. And I'm going to tell you right now, it looks pretty fabulous. Because as I told you earlier, I already went ahead and bought another roll of the transfer tape from Arteza. This works wonderful. So if you didn't pre-paint it on a wood piece, it's ready to go. And it will look great. I decided I wanted to add a couple more stars to this project, so I'm painting 2 more of these thin Walmart stars, the cream color, and distressing them. I decided it needed just a little bit of something else. And then I've got this ink that I got from Joann's or Michael's, Hobby Lobby, I don't remember what, and I'm just kind of inking around the cream colored stars just to give it a little bit of shading. Now I'm going to pull off the stencil on both pieces, and I'll show you how it looks here without pre-painting. I think it looks still pretty dang crisp. Pulling out the little negatives here. Then number 4, I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. We'll take a look at both of them here in a minute, I think. Or maybe I just show you the bigger one, I can't remember. So of course our project will say 4th of July. Yeah, I'll show you how this looks here once I peel it off. But you can already see how crisp it is stenciling on the paper. Really impressed with this Arteza. I loved it as transfer tape, now I love it even more as stencil. I think it looks great. So we're going to get this finished up here. We're going to start assembling. We're just at the very end here. Here comes our 4th of July, our red and white striped block, our thick star, and the other 2 thin stars that we added last minute. Get those glued into place. I'll be adding a twine bow to the thicker star, and then off camera I decided this still needed a little something else. So I thinned down some paint, watered it down, and then took a paintbrush, dipped my bristles into the paintbrush, and then I tapped my paintbrush and made splatters onto my project, and you'll see how that looks here in the end result. But for now, this project is complete. To our last project, number 4. So I wanted to make a couple of pillows. We'll only be making one with you. I found these cute towels at Dollar Tree. I purchased 2 of those, and then these just plain colored towels, I purchased a red one and a blue one to match the printed towel. And so what we're going to do, I'm just going to show you how to make one. Of course, we're going to take one of these plain colored kitchen towels. We're going to cut it exactly in half. Cut off the little tag there. And we're going to take one of these printed towels, and I'm just going to, because one printed towel has 2 designs on it, so it's enough for 2 pillows, and I've already done one, like I said, so I'm making the other one the exact same size as the first one. I'm just cutting it down to the size I want. I'm cutting off, you know, all the stripe detailing around the edges here, cutting it down to fit the towel. These are fairly small pillows, but they're really cute. Super sweet. And then what we're going to do is glue this, or hot glue it, or your Beacon fabric tack glue onto one side of the towel. And the first thing I'm doing is just kind of pulling on the edges of the towel, just kind of distressing it up a little bit. You can of course skip this step. Glue your towel down onto your base towel, again with fabric tack or hot glue, centering it. And then I decided to just add a little bit of texture to it. So I'm taking this crochet thread from Walmart and one of their big needles. You can get packages of these, and I'm just doing little cute country stitches in all the corners and then around the sides and the top and bottom. Just 2 little stitches, just like this. You can of course skip this step if you're not a sewer, just like that, and then I'll, you know, skip a couple of inches, and then I'll do 2 more little stitches, and I'll do this process all the way around. I just thought it would take away the look of these being like kitchen towels and make them look more decorative and rustic, like cute pillows. I was almost going to do this all the way around, but I thought it would be a little bit too much, so that's why I decided to, you know, add a couple of inches in between each set of stitches. So this is what it looks like, just a little bit of detailing. And then I'm going to go ahead and tie it off in the back. Cut that extra thread off, and then we're going to put right sides together. We're going to put our pillow together now. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and pin it together. I'm going to leave about a little 4-inch opening, just like you see here. Know where you're going to stuff it. So if you're going to hot glue, open your towel up, hot glue all the way around, just like this, down to where you pinned it. So you make sure you leave an opening. I'm going to take this to my sewing machine. I'm going to sew all the way around, again to where I pinned it, to leave an opening for stuffing. Once I sew it, the towel has, you know, those sewn edges, so I'm just kind of cutting those off to take out the bulk a little bit. You don't have to do this, but I just, you know, leaving it a little less bulky on the inside. And then we're going to turn it inside out through our opening. And then I'm taking a little skewer. You can get these packages of skewers at Walmart or at Craft Stick, or Dollar Tree too, of course. Walmart, Dollar Tree both have craft sticks and skewers. And then just kind of poking the corners out. Nice and easy. And then I'm going to just stuff it. And I buy those bed pillows at Walmart. They're like $2.50, and easy, cheap stuffing. Cut them open, and that's how I stuff all my pillows I make. Stuff it as full as you want it. And now you're going to close the opening. You kind of got to fold it in a little bit. So if you're going to hot glue, do that, or needle and thread if you're a sewer. This pillow is actually almost done. And like I said, I did 1 red and 1 blue. I found towels that matched the printed towels, so it looks really cute. I'm going to add a cute twine bow on the front using twine from Dollar Tree. I'm going to go ahead and glue that on. And then Dollar Tree has these great 4th of July signs. Of course, this is in a tag shape with these metal stars on it, and I got it just for the stars. So I pulled one off, and I'm going to glue it right over the middle of the twine bow, and this project is complete. Here is the finished project, and I think it turned out so totally cute. I think we camouflaged these just enough that you can't tell they're kitchen towels. If you love this video, please give it a thumbs up, and let me know in the comments down below which project you love the best and that you can't wait to try and do for yourself for the upcoming 4th of July holiday here in the US of A. Remember, I will have a link to Thread Tank in the description box if you'd like to go check that out, as well as a coupon code if you just can't wait to get one of those t-shirts for yourself. Please follow me on Instagram, Pinterest, on my blog. Remember to subscribe to my channel. I thank you for sharing your time with me, and I'll talk with you again soon. Bye.